First look at Legion OS version 3.3 based on Android 11 running on the Redmi K20 Pro or the Xiaomi Mi 90 Pro. Hey peeps, what's up? Munchie here, back with another video, and in this video we're going to have our first look at Legion OS version 3.3 based on Android 11 running on the Redmi K20 Pro or the Xiaomi Mi 90 Pro. As you can see, we are running the official build. The security patch is from November 8th, 2020. The kernel they are using is perf kernel, and SE Linux is of course set as permissive. And a thing which you will notice right off the bat is that the Android 11 Cats game from the Easter egg does not work on this build right now. Now the build comes in two variants, vanilla and Google Apps, but surprisingly the build with Google Apps baked in does not have Pixel Launcher. So me personally, I am running the vanilla build with Nix stock Google Apps on top, and as you can see, I do have Pixel Launcher out of the box because of the fact that I am running Nix stock G apps, and the recents are pretty fast and pretty smooth. In terms of the features, there it is. You can see that select works absolutely fine without any issues. Tap on screenshot, works like a boss. Tap on share, quick share menu in the building. Press and hold on any application and you can pin it to your quick share menu without any issues. In terms of the volume panel, this is how your volume panel looks like. You have the stock Android 11 volume panel, and here is my Google feed. Everything is super fast, no jitters, no lags, nothing like that on this build. And before I forget, you do have the button to toggle between the various ringer modes on top of the volume panel, and this here is the button to enable or disable live caption. Next up, we can have a look at our quick setting tiles, but before that, as you can see, the blur and zoom effect when you access your quick settings works absolutely fine as well. And here are your quick setting tiles. These are the different options which you have. In case you want to add more, tap on the edit icon, and here are the other options which you can add in case you want to. Tap on the three dot menu on the top right and you can adjust the columns for normal mode, landscape mode, and you can also configure the number of columns in quick bar along with the checkbox to enable or disable the labels for your quick settings panel. So these are the different options. We can also check out the screen recorder to see if there is any lag when you access the screen recorder. Only if I can find the option. Here it is, screen recorder. Let us choose device audio and microphone and then tap on start. And there it is, screen recording has started. Let us access the applications, and as you can see, there is a noticeable lag in the UI when you start the screen recorder and try to record internal audio and microphone at the same time. So this is a bug which is present in a lot of custom ROMs which are based on AOSP, but some of them have them fixed, and we do hope that the developers of Legion OS will fix the issue sooner rather than later. And before you ask me how come the quick setting tiles are in different colors, well, these are the different customizations which are present in Legion OS along with this super cool looking gradient. We are going to look at that later in this video. Another thing I would like to add, when you access your quick settings, you do have the option of history, and this is the history for my notifications. You of course have to enable this from the notifications option. Next up, we can go into settings, have a look at the various customizations which come with Android 11 and Legion OS. So yes, 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi works absolutely fine, and these animated icons which you see on top for most of the options are something which Legion OS has added. So back into network and internet. Before I forget, these buttons with the super cool gradient is also a feature of Legion OS. Tap on the Wi-Fi name, tap on it one more time. You have the option to disconnect, and you also have the option to auto connect on a per Wi-Fi basis. Moving over to Legion settings, this is where we have the major customizations for Legion OS. We'll go into quick settings. So you do have the option to see the brightness slider in your quick settings panel, you can choose between these three different options. And in case you want to enable or disable the auto brightness icon in your quick settings panel, you have an option for that as well. Then we have customization for the status bar. So what all icons you want to see in the status bar, you have toggles for all of those. Then traffic indicators, as you can see, I do have them enabled right now. And these are the different customization options you have for network traffic, along with the option to choose a custom font for your network traffic as well. Then you have brightness control by sliding across the status bar. If you want to see 4G instead of LTE, do you want to display the volt icon or not? Different options for the volt icon, here are them on your screen right now. Then if you want to see the voice over Wi-Fi icon or not, and what is the icon style for voice over Wi-Fi which you want to see. You can also configure your battery style. So do you want to see the battery percentage in your quick settings panel or not? Then the battery style in your status bar. These are the different options. As you can see, I do have the text only enabled right now. And you can also choose the battery percentage. What is the custom charging symbol for text style? So these are the different options which you have on your screen right now, and this will work if and only if you have the text battery style enabled. And do you want to see the battery percentage when the device is charging? Then you have theming. So in theming, you can change your accent color and your gradient picker as well, and this is what customizes the different buttons which we have. So as you can see, once I enable this button, you will see that it is using the accent color on the left, and then on the right hand side it has the gradient color. So let us change the accent color to, let us say, blue, and the gradient picker, let us change this guy to say yellow, right? And bam, you can see that the button style has now changed, and the same is going to apply for your slider as well. You can see it is blue and yellow now. Previously it was red and green. Then what is the theme you want when you enable the dark theme? Do you want light, or they also have the extended clear as well? And once you enable this, you should be able to see the background as your wallpaper. There it is, you can see working like a boss with no issues to report. Other than that, you can also change the fonts. So here you have it, the headline and the body font. These are the different font options which you get, and trust me, there are a bunch of font options in this ROM. Then you can change the icon shape. These are the different icon shapes which you have, again a lot of them. Then the status bar icon shape, these are the different options which you have. Status bar height, different options for that as well, working absolutely fine. In case you want to change the UI radius, you can do that as well. And if you want to tint your quick setting tiles, you have these different options: gradient, random, and accent. As you can see, I do have the random one selected right now. Then what is the color tint you want for your labels? I have the random one selected right now. And of course, you have a toggle to enable or disable quick setting tile icon, bright or dark. Then you have customization for the lock screen. So do you want a successful fingerprint authentication vibration or not? Similar option for the error as well. In case you want transparent notifications on your lock screen, toggle for that as well. Lock screen charging info. You can change the UI of your lock screen. So you can change the clock along with the font, the size, the button options. Then you have similar customizations for the date, so the style, the font options, the size. Similarly for owner info, you can change the font and the size as well. You can also align the clock to say center, left or right. Similar options for date as well, similar options for the owner info as well. And you also have lock screen colors as well. So I do have the red one selected right now, and we can check out my lock screen. There it is. That is how my lock screen looks like right now. And yes, FOD is pretty good on this build. We'll have a look at that later in this video. Then in case you want to hide the bottom shortcuts, you have a toggle for that as well. And the lock screen charging animation which you want, these are the different options you have: flash, battery, drop, explosion, and water. Next up, you have customization for your notifications, so you can configure your heads up. Then in case you want to pulse the flash for incoming call, you have a toggle for that as well, and then you can configure the pulse rate. Then you have in-call vibration options, so you have toggles for vibrate on connect, vibrate on call waiting, vibrate on disconnect, and you can also customize your battery charging light as well. Then we have customization for gestures, so you have screen off power torch, and once you enable this, you can also choose after how many minutes you want to turn it off automatically. So the screen is off, press and hold power button, bam, there it is, torch working like a boss. Press and hold it one more time and it will be turned off. And then you also have 3-finger screenshot along with the option to choose what kind of screenshot you want to take. Do you want to take a full screenshot or do you want to take a partial screenshot? There it is, 3-finger screenshot. It should have asked me for a partial screenshot, but I think this is a bug in the build right now, and if I change it from the quick setting tile, let us try it now, still not working. Let us try the other physical options. So yes, this one lets you choose the partial screenshot, and let us try the 3-finger screenshot now. So yes, there it is, now it is working. So it seems that there is some kind of bug with respect to the implementation of partial screenshot. And yes, you do have double tap to sleep anywhere on the lock screen to sleep, and double tap to sleep on the status bar as well. Here it is, works like a boss. Double tap to wake, double tap to sleep on the lock screen. All these options do work pretty great on this build. Next up, we have customization for the navigation bar. So in terms of navigation options, you have two options: 3-button, which is your old school style, and as you can see, the system UI did restart. This is your old school 3 buttons. And in case you want to use Android 10 gestures, you have the option for that as well. Go into settings, you can configure the back sensitivity for the left edge and the right edge, and you can also hide the bar, which I have hidden right now. And in case you want to enable or disable haptic feedback tick on the back gesture, you have a toggle for that as well. Then you have customization for the buttons. In case you want to use the volume rockers for skipping between tracks with the screen off, you have a toggle for that. Volume rocker wake and volume key cursor control is also present. Then you can customize your power menu. So for starters, you can customize the animation effect, and I do have the 3D one. That is how it looks like. We can change it to say turn, and bam, there it is. That is how the turn option looks like. Then you can enable advanced restart. So if I select restart, I can choose system UI, system recovery, or bootloader. Those are my different options. And then what all icons you want to see in the power menu, as in what all options you want to see and how many maximum icons you want to show. You have customization for all of those. Then you can customize the animations. For starters, you can customize the animation duration. In case you want to disable transition animations system wide, you have a toggle for that as well. Activity open animation, these are the different things which you can change, and let us try changing them. So bam, there it is, you can see the animation did change, and here it is, the activity open animation is slide in from the left. Let me change all these back to default. And then if you scroll down, you can also change your screen off animation as well. So as you can see right now, it is set as CRT. There it is. That is how the CRT effect looks like. We can change this to say scale, and bam, there it is. That is how the scale option looks like. You can also configure the animations for your quick setting tiles. Right now it is set as no animation. Let us say flip, and now we can turn the Wi-Fi off. That is the flip animation. We can also change it to rotate, turn the Wi-Fi on. There it is. Rotate animation works absolutely fine, and you also have the interpolator effect as well. So right now it is set as linear. Let me change this to bounce, and you will see that the Wi-Fi icon bounces a little. There it is, the bounce effect working like a boss. And then you have miscellaneous. So the only option you have in miscellaneous is to wake up the device when the charger is plugged or unplugged. Next up, we have battery. So in battery, yes, again you have the pretty cool animated icon on the top. Then you have thermal profiles. You can change thermals on a per app basis. These are the different options for thermals which you have. And if you choose the benchmark or gaming thermal, you also have touch control, so you can enable game mode and you can also configure your touch response, sensitivity, and the touch resistant area as well. Then you also have battery saver, adaptive battery. You can configure your smart charging as well in case you want to. You have some information about the battery, including battery temperature, and you also have a battery health section which tells you the design battery capacity, the current capacity, and the charge cycles completed. Next up, we have display. You have the brightness level, night light, adaptive brightness. One thing which I like to check is the FOD. So let me turn off adaptive brightness, put the brightness level to 0. Now, of course, you're not able to see anything, but I am. So there it is. FOD works absolutely fine even at 0 brightness. And now let me enable back adaptive brightness, and bam, there it is. You can see the phone did turn back on after using the FOD at 0 brightness. Then you have screen timeout. Let us change this to 15 seconds. You also have screen attention. Do note that whatever time you choose in screen timeout, after that time the camera will pop up and check if somebody is looking at the screen or not. So once there it is, you can see the camera just popped out to check whether someone is looking or not. So yes, screen attention does work on this build. You can configure your rotation angles. You can choose between 0, 90, 180 and 270. Styles and wallpapers, you can of course change the wallpaper, go into grid, change the grid size, go into clock. These are the different lock screen clock options which you have. Moving over to colors, so you have three different options: natural, boosted, and adaptive. Live display is not present. Go into lock screen, you can choose these different options. Now playing of course is broken across all AOSP ROMs, and in case you want to enable always on display, you have a toggle for that as well. There it is, AOD working like a boss on this build. And you can also wake your screen for notifications. In advanced, you have ambient display options which include pickup, raise to wake, and hand wave. All these options do work absolutely fine. Then you also have double tap to wake. We already checked that out. Prevent accidental wake up inside your pocket. A toggle to enable or disable dark theme, and with Android 11 you can also configure your dark theme to turn on and off at a specific time. Then you can configure your font size, display size, the DPI, and yes, DC dimming is also present in this build. Next up we have sound. So in sound you have the option to link and unlink the ring and notification volumes. Then you have live caption, works absolutely fine. Now playing, as we discussed earlier, is broken on this build. You do have a toggle to enable or disable screenshot sound, and yes, you do have direct sound enhancer along with the toggle to enable hi-fi as well. Moving over to security. In security we already checked that you have FOD, pretty good, works absolutely fine even at 0 brightness. And yes, you do have face unlock baked in as well, which also works absolutely fine. Moving over to system, you have front camera sound effects, so you can either enable or disable the camera LED. Then you have front camera sound effects with the new Star Wars sound effects baked in as well. Going to gestures, system navigation, we already talked about the fact that you have two different options for navigation. And if you go into developer options, you also have wireless debugging, and you also have a toggle to enable or disable the refresh rate. In terms of safety net is not going to pass out of the box. However, once you root your device and then you enable Magisk Hide, then we can check for safety net one more time. And as you can see on your screen right now, once you root your device and enable Magisk Hide, safety net is going to pass, which means you should be able to use your banking apps without any issues. In terms of gestures, animation, smoothness, here it is. You can open some applications, and as you can see, the animations are pretty smooth with no issues to report. Recents working like a boss, super fast, no jitters, no lags. Google Feed absolutely fine as well, no jitters to report again. We can open Chrome browser, and here it is, a big Wikipedia page. Scrolling is super smooth, no jitters, no lags, everything is super fast. Now the only thing which I do not like here is that when you try to access the keyboard, you will see you do not have the spacing at the bottom, which does make it pretty uncomfortable for my thumb, and that is just a personal preference. I do prefer the keyboard wherein you have a bit of spacing at the bottom because it just makes it easy to type without any stress on your thumb. Next up, we can check for YouTube picture-in-picture mode. So let us open YouTube and we can try playing some video. So here it is, we are playing a video from the movie Matrix, and let us go into full screen mode. And as you can see, pinch to zoom looks like it is broken. Live caption is working absolutely fine without any issues. Next up, we can check for picture in picture. So yes, picture in picture does work absolutely fine, but as we just saw, pinch to zoom is broken on this build. Now in terms of notification shade media controls, that option works absolutely fine, and you are able to switch your output between different devices, and you can use your phone speaker and your Bluetooth device in case you want to. So what is the final take on Legion OS? Well, this is a pretty good ROM for the Redmi K20 Pro. As you can see, it has a bunch of customizations and there are no jitters or lags, nothing like that. So those of you who do want to try Android 11 on your Redmi K20 Pro or the Xiaomi Mi 90 Pro, Legion OS is a must try ROM. And there it is, peeps. That was our first look at Legion OS based on Android 11 running on the Redmi K20 Pro or the Xiaomi Mi 90 Pro. And that will do it for this video. Hope my video helped you. Likes, shares and subscribes are appreciated. Feedback and comment more than welcome. See you when I see you.